All right, judges, let's cover how we build the line score. This is a whole other element to the game, which we got to remember is the most important part. Building the line score means evaluating the venue. What we want to do from the start is, as judges, we want to sit there, look at the venue, determine the easiest possible route down this venue, establish a baseline score. Judges also, you want to determine the most difficult possible route. Gives you the range. And this is all, subjective. So we want to estimate potential common routes, potential uses of terrain, things that we want to see, things that we anticipate to see, common routes. Then we pick out our lowest line score. We also want to remember, determine those no-fall zones and make sure athletes know where those are. And area closures are very important as well. We've come up with the term pocket points. This makes it easy on us, makes it easy on them. It's the minimum line score possible for the venue. So the athlete's basically standing at the top of the mountain with 3 points in his pocket, or 4. This gives us room, range. I never like to start with a 1 because I don't think that any venue has a 1 line, because I think mountains deserve more respect than that. So we like to start with a 3 or possibly a 4. That also gives us range to move down if we have to discredit some scoring. Zone and feature values. Now remember, when the skier comes out of the gate, they're basically building a line. So they might start out with a 3, but as they work their way down the mountain, they hit features. They hit zones of exposure that have more points. So they could get into a zone, start out with a 3, and now they could step right up into maybe a 3.5 or up to a 4 line, because that zone dictates that. It's got steep exposure. It's got a few turns that are going to be crucial. So it makes it easy for us to just say that zone is a 3.5, and then build from there. They ski down the face, they exit off an air. Maybe that air gives them another point because it's a big air. So now they're leaving that zone. They've got 4.5 in their pocket. They've got a 4.5 line, and they're still building. As they get down the hill, they hit more features. Little rock features might give them a 1/4 point, a 1/2 point, until they finish the run. Boom, you've got a line score. We want to make sure that we don't build that line score too high, that we max it out. So leave room, leave range. That's why you look at the venue, determine these potential routes. Just also remember that this is about breaking down the line. These aren't points that we put in the execution scores. This is just how we build the line to get to that number. The most important thing about our game is it's free. It's a free skiing event. We don't have a lot of rules, but we do have a couple. And so we need to abide by these. Obviously, safety equipment, body protection, helmets are mandatory. Body protection is recommended. Competitors need to finish in the finish area and in control. If a skier comes into the finish way too fast, hits a bunch of signs, takes out the B netting, you're going to bury that person's score. We want to see skiers come into the finish celebrating for sure, but in control and come to a stop. Competitors also need to finish with both skis. You don't need your poles, you don't need your goggles, but we want to make sure that they have both skis, and that can be on their feet or in their hands. It doesn't matter. But those are 2 of the basic rules, and if they don't have both skis, that is a disqualification. And remember that we want to enforce competitors be on time. It's important for the flow of the event. And remind them always to celebrate and encourage each other and support each other loudly. We're having a good time. Other important responsibilities as judges is that you all need to inspect this venue together. You need to go through the mountain, look at potential features, look at the landings, the takeoffs, talk about them, talk about point values so it makes it easier later. You want to discuss the forerunners. We want to make sure we have a forerunner every day. And you score the forerunner, it kind of gets your pencil warmed up, kind of gives you an idea of of what you're going to see. And you want to agree on a time limit for this venue and make sure that the starter knows that and the athletes know that they have 2.5 minutes to get down this venue. So if they do lose their equipment, that they show us some hustle to put their stuff together and keep on moving. And also remind the athletes that judges' scores are final and no competitor is really allowed to protest to the judges. If they want to protest, there's rules in the handbook that you will have, but judges' decisions are final, and we do not deserve to have anybody coming up to us and harshing our joy at the end of the day. Venue inspections. We believe strongly in venue inspections as organizers, as judges. This is important. It builds competitor confidence, provides a level of predictability. It ensures a much more exciting event and a safer event, and it's just vital for the safety and success of the entire show. Just delivers an overall better package. Full venue inspections is what we really lean hard towards. It ensures quality skiing, competitor confidence, but we want to make sure we have a time limit on this. We don't want to have people out there pounding the venue all day the day before the event. Maybe give them a 2-hour window and say, okay, venue's open from noon to 2. They can get in there, they can ski it, look at their airs, look at their moves, check out the snow. Try to do that the day before the event. Then on the day of the event, it's good to have a soft inspection, especially if the snow is starting to deteriorate or if we've had new snow overnight. It still allows the athletes a chance to get in there, check out the conditions, probe their landings, look at their takeoffs. It provides snow quality, consistency. It's just a good thing, and it keeps the impact down on the venue. Is when you do soft inspections, you start at the top or look from the bottom. You let the skiers traverse into the top of the features, so to speak. Let them look down. Let them stand on top of these entrances or these chutes, wherever they are, and then kick turn, back away, ski down around the easier side, traverse under these features, probe the landings, look up at them, finding ways that's going to lower the impact on the venue, and it keeps people from punching their airs out, but gives them a feeling of, they're more comfortable. It's going to be more predictable. Now, visual inspections, sometimes we do this, but it's not recommended. We don't really like visual inspections. It doesn't provide for safety. Competitors lack in confidence. There's a loss of predictability. It really affects fluidity and attack because skiers are unsure. But it does preserve the snow quality. It's not saying that you can't do this, but we highly recommend that you let athletes get an inspection, whether a full or a soft, because it'll make them more comfortable and the overall show will be much more successful. The delivery will be amazing. The skiers will have way more fun. The skiers need to know inspection protocols, and they need to support these protocols as well as support each other in watching them inspect. You got to have your safety equipment on, helmets, and a big heads up. Traversing above people, jumping into areas, you got to know where everybody is. Do not let them jump their airs. Make sure that they probe their landings and takeoffs. Visualize and assess your runouts. As an athlete, they need to look at them in that way without having to jump them and hit them 5 times and destroy it for the next day. Establish landmarks. Remind them to look for landmarks that'll help them get to where their takeoffs are and understand where their landings and their runouts are. And remember, watch out for others. Make sure that they're communicating to each other, calling your drop-ins, communicating you're going across the mountain. These are very important, and let the athletes police themselves on this and enforce those.